Hey friends, and welcome back to the food shed. So a lot going on here today in the shed. As you can see, I pulled down the insulated panel that was up here that I was using to keep the chickens from roosting on that right there. And now the chickens aren't in here anymore, so I don't really need it. And it's been warm really, for a couple days. And I came in here, every day to check on the birds and give them more food and water. And I noticed it was a lot warmer because that fan right there is pulling air from that vent right there. And obviously that vent is above where that panel was, so any heat that was generated in here was just rising and sitting in that panel. And so that was just kind of radiating out into the space and making it a lot warmer than it needed to be. So pulled that out. Hopefully that cools it down. But also what I'm going to do is put another vent about waist level there, so that it's not only just pulling the air from there, but it's also pulling cooler air in down low where the birds are. And then I'm going to upgrade that fan to a significantly larger fan. I believe that one's an 8-inch fan. I'm going up to an 18-inch fan, so that'll be good there. And then I've got my my Ermine Americana hen, who I've had for about a year now, and she's gone extremely broody. She keeps trying to steal the eggs that are being laid so that she can try and sit on them, but I don't have a rooster, so that's not going to go well for her. So a friend of mine had a couple of potentially fertilized Americana eggs, and so I'm building her a nest box today so that she can sit on those eggs, and maybe she hatches them, and if she's a good mom, I may use her for that later on in the future. The American Erminettes, not to be confused with Ermine Americanas, despite their similar looks, white and black speckles, they're fully feathered. They haven't had heat on them, neither have the turkeys here, but they're going to go outside to the outside pen here today, and then the turkeys are going to move down here so they have a little bit more space for themselves, and I don't have to worry about them fighting around with what's going on in there. So pretty excited about that one. And they'll be happy to be outside where it's a little bit cooler, and that'll help remove some of the heat in here, not having so many bodies. And as you can see, I pulled the heat lamps because it's been really warm. There's no heat lamps running in here. The only thing running that's creating heat is the incubators, and I didn't understand how much heat those were throwing out by virtue of pushing warm air around and their vents being open, but they do definitely induce a fair amount of heat into the shed here. So that's good to know for the winter, and that's good to know for future summers. But I think that vent that goes right about there will help pull some of that heat out, as well as bring some good fresh air in, and the bigger fan will facilitate that as well. So turkeys are getting big. Very, very peck friendly. They're my buddies. And then, yeah, so that's what's going on today. And I'll show you the updates here. And, well, here.
Check.
Done. Done. And I can tell you, as soon as I cut that panel out, I could feel the air just start moving in already. So that's a huge W, because it's noticeably cooler in here already with even the original fan. And just as I was getting ready to make this one here, the white and black one, the broody one, a nest box, she decided she wasn't going to be broody anymore. So I put the eggs that I got from my friend in the incubator to keep them warm. If she goes back to being broody, I will build her a nest box and throw that under her. The nest box has already got the parts for it and everything like that. So yeah, go figure. All ready to give her eggs and make her happy, and she decides, nope, I'm not going to be broody anymore. And they're getting some free time out here. I give them about 20 minutes or 30 minutes of free time out here in the morning and the evening, just so that they can scratch and kick and all that jazz. But for safety, they go back in this dog pen thing that's surrounded by 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch hardware cloth that keeps them safe from the weasels and all the other critters around here. And so, and then you can see the new birds back here in the other half. There's a separator right there, that wood piece right there, that keeps them from going back and forth, but they can see each other, so the new birds get accustomed to the old birds and vice versa. And so, yep, they're growing up, everybody's doing good, and these ones are out doing their scratch and eat the bugs thing, so I'm going to get back to them. Hey friends, so we're gonna call it a day. I didn't get to that fan today. It is what it is. I did blow it out. You can see a lot less cobwebs up there by that thing. It made a lot of dust. It was pulling out, but it needed me to make a run to Lowe's, and when I installed this vent, it got a lot cooler in here real quick, and I just determined that that run to Lowe's could wait until tomorrow or sometime next week, because I had other things to do, and a lot of them, and it was more important for me to stay here and do those things than it is for me to run to Lowe's to fix that fan, especially when the temperature dropped so quickly with the install of this vent. So this vent is louvered. The louvers are about as big around as my pinky, or big, height-wise as my pinky. I am gonna, you can see the screws sticking out here. I'm gonna put a piece of 1/4x1/4 hardware cloth through here just to keep anything that might be the size of my pinky or smaller from getting in here and getting to my birds. And 1/4x1/4 is what I use for most of the cages and stuff to keep the birds safe, and that seems to work really well for me. And then I'm going to case that in with some 2x4s throughout here, and that way I've got a nice place to put an insulated pad in the winter when I don't want that air coming in here and making it colder in here. So so because I made it nice and cool in here, and it was really maybe a degree or two difference between the outside and the inside here throughout the day, and so that made a really big difference. I can feel the air pulling in through that from that little fan. So again, I decided not to install the big fan this weekend. That's a next weekend problem, but that has definitely been a game changer and really helped. All the birds seem like they're a lot happier with that in here, and I will tell you, I'm a lot happier with that in here when I'm working. So yeah, just checked on all the birds. They're doing good outside. I moved a bunch of the visitor birds out there because they were getting a little big, and as they were running around, they were starting to injure some of the smaller birds that were new hatches, and I wanted to keep the smaller birds safe. So I moved the bigger birds out to the grow out hoop coop that I have, and they're enjoying the clover out there and all the fun stuff there. And then the turkeys are getting along down here. They're enjoying that. And I've got another hatch of visitor birds coming out of the hatcher here tomorrow, and so more and more birds are coming out of here. I did take the Americana eggs that I have and I put them in the incubator. The Ermine Americana that I have miraculously today, as I said, didn't decided not to be broody anymore, and she was out walking around and doing her things, so she wasn't going to do sitting on egg stuff. And so I said, well, screw it, I'll throw them in the incubator, and maybe if she gets broody a little bit, I'll throw them back under her and see how she does. If not, I've got some more Americanas to lay eggs and make pretty stuff. That's why we don't touch things when we're talking on the TikTok. Anyway, I'm wiped. I'm gonna go get some water and some food and take a shower and get cleaned up and hit the hay. So thanks for watching, and everybody have a great day.